What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Team Supernova podcast. I'm Tebow.
And I'm Darn.
And today we are going to be doing a tier list of all of the different flavors of Mountain Dew, but we're not going to be making two separate tier lists. We're going to be combining our opinions and making one tier list. So we'll see how that's going to go. I think it'll be pretty fun. Wanted to give one update really quick before we get into that. Last episode, we talked a little bit about the KFC Sweet Lightning Freeze. Right after that episode went out, we got a little bit of an update on it. We found out that it is available now in 22 locations in Kentucky. So if you live in Kentucky, might check that out. Might see if you can get yourself a Sweet Lightning Freeze. I've heard very good things about it. I've heard people say that it's pretty sweet, which, you know, Darn, we were talking about it. People were saying we saw it's not half diet, so I guess that adds up.
Yeah, for sure. Really. Yeah, it must be pretty sweet. It has more sugar than Blue Shock and regular Mountain Dew Freeze.
It sounds promising, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it.
Definitely. Other than that, though, it's been a pretty quiet week. This week was the target date for the Patriotics and the Infinite Swirl. Other than that, we don't really have any updates or news to share. So I think we're just gonna jump right into the tier list. I'll throw it over to Darn.
Yeah. So right now, the tier list that we're using was made by our good friend Scrublord. You could check it out in the link in the description if you would like to see it. It has the most flavors out of any Mountain Dew tier list out there. It has the most consistent design for each of the flavors compared to every other tier list on Tier Maker. So
yes,
we have standards here when it comes to our tier lists.
Indeed.
All right, so how about let's start with the original Mountain Dew, regular.
You know, we talked last week about Canada removing orange juice from the formula, and I know the tier list doesn't reflect Canada being different from the US, but I almost feel like me liking Canada's original kind of brings it up for me a little bit. I would have said C, but I think I'd be willing to go. I'm somewhere low A, high B territory.
Regular Mountain Dew, that is the default flavor. That is the flavor that started it all, really.
It's a classic.
So I might be willing to meet with you on A there for low A. But yeah, I will say that for the purpose of simplicity, we will say that this tier list will reflect either the US or Canada.
Okay, I like that. Then I'm comfortable putting it in A, because Canadian OG, I could drink that all the time. If I lived in Canada, I would be drinking that way more often.
Maybe I should drink more of it. I haven't actually even tried the reformulation yet. And then moving on, our next flavor, the way that this is sorted, a lot of similar flavors are together. So what about Diet Mountain Dew?
There are some of the diets that I like. Original's not one of them. Not a fan of original. I'd probably go D tier. It was up to me.
Wow, really? Okay. Because that might be where I disagree. I actually really like Diet. And you could argue I'm saying that because it's not available in Canada. But compared to Zero Sugar, I think Diet tastes closer to the original Mountain Dew than Zero Sugar does.
I will give you that. That's definitely true.
How about let's put it in C tier then?
Yeah, we don't gotta go down to D.
It's pretty good for what it is, but it doesn't excel at what it is.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Zero Sugar Mountain Dew. And, I just mentioned, I don't really like this one. It's not that close. It tastes more like 7-Up Zero with Mountain Dew flavoring than it does like a Zero Sugar Mountain Dew.
I would pick up every single other Zero Sugar over it. D tier.
I agree. D tier. Have you tried caffeine-free regular Mountain Dew?
My mom, when I was growing up, used to buy caffeine-free for me all the time. Personally, I don't think it tastes any different. I know there's people that don't agree with me. I know there's people that think it's silly that caffeine-free exists. I don't agree with that. I know people that, like can't have it for health reasons. So like for that reason, I think it's cool that it exists. I think typically when I've done tier lists in the past, I have ranked it right below OG just because to me it tastes the same. However, since I've now boosted OG up because of Canadian OG, I don't think that's my opinion anymore. So I think I would go like C or D tier.
Well, you said it was like almost identical to regular Mountain Dew, so not even like a B?
It's pretty close to just classic OG, just no caffeine.
I will say that in Canada, before 2012, that was actually like caffeine-free Mountain Dew was regular Mountain Dew here, but I didn't drink a lot of Mountain Dew back then, so I really don't have any opinions.
Right.
But yeah, I think B sounds fair based on what you're saying about it. So the next one that we have coming up is a very controversial one. Diet Mountain Dew caffeine-free.
According to some members of the Dew Drinker Discord, objectively the best flavor. I don't think it's any worse than Diet. Now, whether that's good or bad is kind of up to your interpretation of Diet, but following the same train of thought for what I just said with Original, I don't think it's any worse than Diet, so I would tend to want to put it in the same tier as Diet.
All right, yeah, that sounds fair. I'll put it right below Diet then.
It's just a literal step below Diet. Yeah, I support that.
How about the opposite of Diet? We have Mountain Dew Throwback, or Real Sugar as it was rebranded to.
This is real early for me to be making people mad with my opinions. I think Throwback's overrated.
I actually 100% agree. I do think it's overrated. It's a bit watered down compared to regular Mountain Dew.
I don't think it's bad, but I think that Canadian OG is better. I think our OG is better, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me.
Oh, I agree with you.
It's not bad, but I'm not upset that Real Sugar was discontinued, and I'm not going to miss it. Like, when we got word that it was discontinued, like, I saw it, and I bought it a couple more times, and, like, it was nice to have, but, like, I'm not upset about it. I would say C, maybe.
Here's my thoughts on it, though. To me, it actually does taste like Diet, but instead of artificial sweeteners, it was sugar.
What tier are you thinking?
I think C as well.
I'd be willing to put it a step above Diet.
Because I was actually thinking the opposite. I was thinking of putting it below Diet.
I'm not that attached to that opinion. We could put it below.
I feel like just it being Diet and being how good it is puts it higher than Real Sugar to me.
I can agree with that.
And up next is one of my favorites, Code Red. I really like Code Red. I like the American version more than the Canadian version, though. But I really like Code Red.
I am willing to. I'm assuming you probably wanted an S tier, and I'm willing to put it. I'm willing to go S tier because I know how much you like Code Red. I like it as a flavor. It's not my favorite, but I respect it as it is one of the greatest of all times. There's no denying it. And I do think that the orange juice plays into it really well.
It adds to some of the citrus of it.
It's a great flavor. I don't get it very often. I probably should drink it more often. I would be willing to go to S tier. I would probably personally put it in B, but I'm willing to go up to S.
I'm actually willing to play devil's advocate here because Code Red is very unpopular with like the hardcore Dew fans for whatever reason. It is one of the best-selling flavors of Mountain Dew.
Other than like Original and probably Baja.
At the very least, it's got to be top 3.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
So I'm actually willing to put it in A, meet in the middle there.
That's fine with me.
Now, have you had Diet Code Red?
Yes. And I think it was pretty not good. I haven't had Code Red Zero, so I can't compare it to that.
I have had Code Red Zero. I do not like Code Red Zero.
I'm not going to F for Diet, but I think I'm going to D. It's really not good.
I'll take your word for it.
And I'll take your word for Code Red Zero.
I'll put it in the same tier. I don't care.
Okay.
My thing with Code Red Zero is that it just doesn't taste like Code Red. It tastes like cherry soda with an aftertaste, but it doesn't taste like Code Red. It doesn't have any of the citrus that Code Red has.
I remember like you were really excited when you got to try it, and then you were super disappointed when you ended up trying it.
I think we could both agree this flavor belongs in S tier. I think everyone can agree it belongs in S tier unless you're deranged. Baja Blast.
S tier. It's in my personal A tier, but there is absolutely no denying that Baja Blast is the greatest of all time.
It is such a good flavor. So many people enjoy it. It became a part of Taco Bell's branding. It is the most iconic exclusive flavor. It's probably the most iconic flavor that isn't regular Mountain Dew.
Baja Blast is basically a brand in of itself. You know, we got the Baja Blast hot sauce. We have the Baja Blast spin-offs. We're getting Baja Blast gelato. All these kinds of cool. You don't get that with other flavors. It's just there's not another flavor like Baja Blast, and there probably never will be. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, and it's not my favorite flavor, I'll be honest, but there's no denying that Baja Blast is the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. What about Baja Blast Zero Sugar?
This one's hard because I know I might get this backwards. Correct me if I get it backwards.
I will say for this one, we are talking about the canned version.
Then D tier.
I absolutely agree. I'll put it here.
Yeah.
Baja Blast Zero, it doesn't have aspartame. It has sucralose and asulfame potassium as its sweeteners. I feel like that kind of sweetener blend doesn't really work with Baja compared to
I agree.
Fountain version. Actually, should we just rank the fountain version right now?
We may as well.
The fountain version, it has aspartame, which is the big difference in the formula.
I'd be willing to go to B for Fountain Baja Zero.
I would agree with you. It's actually like it's a very good substitute for Baja Blast.
Like, I don't get it, but I have before, and I wasn't upset about it.
Yeah, it does have a bit of an aftertaste, but like it does a much better job of imitating Baja Blast than its retail counterpart. All right, well, let's continue on the Baja train because we have all the spin-offs we get to talk about.
I don't love Baja Flash, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people do.
I love Baja Flash.
I just don't like coconut. I'm trying to think what I normally would rank it. Where would you put it?
I'd put it above Baja Blast. I understand there's a lot of people that would not agree with that. A lot of people who don't like coconut because Baja Flash is a very coconut-forward Mountain Dew flavor.
I would be willing to compromise and put it in A.
Yay!
I would probably have put Flash in like C tier, but I'm definitely willing to compromise.
What about Baja Punch?
Now, if we were doing this tier list right after the first year of Baja spinoffs, I would almost be more willing to put Baja Punch higher. But after Point Break Punch, I kind of think that Baja Punch is a little bit overrated.
I think so as well. It feels a lot like Overdrive, where I feel like it's also overrated, but it's kind of a forgettable flavor. It's
just like an amalgamation of fruit. I couldn't tell you what flavor Baja Punch is.
I could. It's orange, pineapple, and cherry fruit punch.
I don't love it. I would maybe put it in C tier.
Actually, I'm actually conflicted because I like Baja Punch, but it is very forgettable for me.
Where are you leaning?
Let's do low B then.
I have a feeling we're going to not agree about this next one.
I thought you were very vocal about Baja Gold. And out of principle, I see why that is such an unpopular flavor.
Yeah, for me, out of principle, it's in not at the bottom, but near the bottom of F tier. Just for me, out of principle, lazy flavor. I hate it. I know. I will admit that there is a difference between it and Maui Burst. But I could only differentiate it if I side-by-side compared them. And for me, that is enough reason that they should have either brought back Baja Flash or done a different flavor entirely.
I didn't enjoy drinking it. I can't get Maui Burst anywhere, so, Baja Gold would have been a good substitute if it was a good substitute. It's a bit watered down, and it feels like it's full of like filler, kind of. It's sweet, but it doesn't have as much flavor as Maui Burst. High D sounds appropriate, though.
Okay, I'm willing to accept that, as much as I like putting it in F.
Sugar. Oh yeah, the next one's mango.
Mango Gem. I was a fan of Mango Gem.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
I think Laguna Lemonade's better than it. We'll get to that one, obviously, but...
We're going to disagree on Laguna Lemonade.
I think Mango Gem is respectable. B, maybe?
I think that's respectable. It's good. It is a very good flavor, I think. It has like a very nice natural mango taste.
Yes.
Doesn't do a lot exceptional, but it is very good at what it tries to do.
Exactly.
And then up next, we got Caribbean Splash.
I'm so torn on that one. So I remember liking it. Reflecting back on that year of Baja spinoffs, I would almost say that was the weakest year of Baja spinoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, it's just a lot like Mango Gem, but without the mango.
I didn't understand it at first, but when I still have some of it and reopening it, there's definitely an essence of Mango Gem. I could go C for Caribbean Splash.
Yeah, Mango Gem did it better. Then the next one we have is Passion Fruit Punch from that year.
Did not like that one.
I thought it was pretty good, but it was not spectacular.
Personally, my vote would be to put it in D tier, so I would compromise by putting it in the bottom of C tier. My biggest thing is I was disappointed that I wanted it to be more passion fruity like Passion Fruit Frenzy is. And Passion Fruit Frenzy is miles better than it, in my opinion.
For me, I just don't like the chalky taste I get from it.
Also, it doesn't taste like Pitch Black.
So, Laguna Lemonade, this is where we get to have a debate.
Laguna Lemonade is probably my favorite Baja spinoff that has released. To me, it took Mango Gem and improved upon it without making the lemonade flavor too obnoxious. I really liked it.
I got like a similar vitamin taste to how I get from citrus cherry, and that puts it below Baja Gold for me.
What do we have Baja Gold in?
We put Baja Gold in D.
Personally, I would put it in A.
I'll put it above caffeine-free Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Point Break Punch as our next one.
What are your thoughts on that one?
I didn't love it. It just tasted like fruit punch, like Baja fruit punch. I would put it below Mango Gem though.
I'm okay with that.
I liked it more as a Baja Punch than I did Baja Punch.
Yes. Yes.
But then our last one here, we have the rarest one. We got Baja Deep Dive,
which also does not taste like Pitch Black.
No, it absolutely does not.
I thought it was good, but I also think that it is massively overrated.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to Baja Blast. If we're going by taste, I would put it one peg above Baja Blast simply for being a slightly better Baja Blast. But out of principle, I would definitely drag it down a few notches.
I'd be willing to put it in A, but like low A.
We could put it below Mountain Dew. Now here's a fun one. Here we have Livewire.
Midwire. I know a lot of people are very passionately excited about Livewire. I have never once gone to a section and saw Mountain Dew and picked out Livewire. I will pick original zero sugar over Livewire. If I wanted an orange soda, I would get Crush or Sunkist or Faygo. I just feel like almost every other brand does orange soda better, and I feel like Mountain Dew doesn't really do enough to make it unique to make me want it. Like Code Red, how that's not just another cherry soda. Like, it really differentiates itself. Livewire just doesn't do that for me.
I kind of disagree on a few points. I do think it is different from regular orange sodas. I get more of a citrus taste, and I think I get like a bit of grapefruit and a bit of lemon in there, maybe. I would just rather have orange soda. I don't think it's bad. I don't care for it, though.
I would be willing to put it in C. Pitch Black.
Yeah, Pitch Black. This one is one of the most popular flavors that is not currently available in the United States.
I'll just say it right away. Pitch Black is number 2 on my tier list. So for me, it's S tier.
I don't love Pitch Black, but I also really dislike grape sodas. And Pitch Black I actually enjoy.
That says a lot about it.
For that, I have to give credit where credit is due. Do I think it belongs in S tier, though?
I'd be willing to accept top of A.
Fine. What were your thoughts on the zero sugar version, though?
I thought it was pretty good. That was probably one of my favorite zeros. I hate to just knock it down a couple tiers just because it's zero, but I'd be willing to put it in B.
Have you had a Pitch Black 2 by any chance?
Yes, and I didn't like it.
All right.
It was very sour. This makes me laugh. People say Spark is sour. Disagree. People say that Voodoo 2022 was too sour. Disagree. There's another flavor that people say is sour too, and someone said that Laguna Lemonade was too sour. Disagree. Pitch Black 2 was sour.
Oh, I think I've heard someone say Major Melon was sour or Thrashed Apple was sour.
I definitely heard someone say Thrashed Apple is sour. Like, nothing is sour compared to what Pitch Black 2 was. Pitch Black 2 was sour, and I know I'm going to make people mad with this. It took something that was really good and made it really not good. And for that reason, I think it's D tier. Bottom of D tier.
For the record, I have no horse in this race. Put all of your blame towards Tebow for this. I'm putting it where he said to put it. Revolution?
It was my least favorite of the Democracy trio. A lot of people called it worse Voltage. To give it where credit is due, I think that, part of why I like Voltage and part of why I like Supernova is the kick of ginseng that it has. And, Revolution has the same thing. And I think that the ginseng really makes it stand out from other flavors. I would be willing to go like B, maybe.
All right, so the next flavor we're looking at is Supernova.
My favorite flavor of all time.
I did try it in a Slurpee form, and honestly, I did really like it. I'd be willing to put it in S tier.
Okay, the Slurpee had the ginseng in it, right?
Yeah, it did.
Like with Voltage, I think just that ginseng kick just really adds so much to it. And just the combination of strawberry and melon works very well.
For me, I don't know. I really like the citrus flavor that Voltage has that Supernova shares with it. And I think it's like a different spin on Voltage for me. And then the next flavor that we have is Diet Supernova.
I would personally rank Diet Supernova over any other diet flavor that's on the list. So, fun fact, I forget if I've shared this on the podcast before. Diet Supernova was the reason that Team Supernova exists, right? So for those that don't know, Diet Supernova was in a promotion, I think it was in 2011, called Diet Dew Fandumonium, and there was 8 different flavors, and the top 2 got released in stores, and it was Diet Supernova and Diet Voltage. The rematch of Democracy 1. So I created Team Supernova to, support Diet Supernova and get people to vote for it. And, at the time, it won, so it became a permanent flavor. It did not even ever actually get a permanent release. I think it might have even been an 8-week LTO. So, people want to say that Pitch Black got robbed. Diet Supernova got robbed. I was fully prepared to go 100% Diet Dew drinker because I enjoyed it. How opposed would you be to putting it one step above zero Pitch Black?
I would probably like it more than Pitch Black Zero Sugar, honestly. So
during the period of time that it was out, that was all I drank, and it was really good.
And then the next flavor that we have, we already mentioned it, Voltage.
What are your thoughts on
I've actually had a complicated history with Voltage. I used to love it, then I used to hate it. I like it a lot now.
because I remembered when you were on your Voltage hating arc.
That sure was an arc.
I also definitely had an arc of hating Voltage, partially just because, deep down I'm kind of mad that it beat Supernova. So, I can relate to the Pitch Black fans that hate Baja Blast, because now Baja Blast is on the shelves even though it lost. But it's just one of those flavors that it's just really good. Voltage, if either I don't care about the LTO flavors or if there isn't one out, Voltage is kind of my default go-to flavor.
I was actually thinking of putting it in S tier below Supernova, though. Here's a flavor that I know you hate. Diet Voltage.
F tier. That was the first flavor I ever actively dumped out and didn't finish. It was not good.
Basically, everyone I've heard that has tried Diet Voltage, I've heard it's just...
Diet Supernova, right? Like, it had a lot of elements of tasting like Supernova, but Diet Voltage, like, kind of in the same vein that I don't think Baja Blast Energy tastes like Baja Blast. I don't think that Diet Voltage tasted like Voltage. Like, it tasted like something entirely different. And I did not like it.
The next flavor that we have is Typhoon. It seems like specifically the Democracy 2 version.
Okay. So you haven't had the Democracy 2 version, right?
I have not. I've only had the 2022 release.
I'm willing to be flexible with where we put it. I preferred the Democracy 2 version over the 2022 version just because it was a lot more strawberry forward than pineapple forward.
The way you're making it sound like strawberry first, then pineapple second, that does sound pretty nice. I'd probably put it below Mango Gem, above Point Break Punch. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And then the next one is the 2022 version, the Do Store version of Typhoon.
It was still good. It released surrounded in other pineapple flavors, and it was okay. It just wasn't that great.
There was too many pineapple flavors coming out at the time. It tasted like strawberry Maui Burst.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it in C tier, though. And then the next flavor that we have, this flavor got robbed.
I agree.
My favorite of all of the former Democracy flavors, except I did not try Revolution, but beyond that, Distortion, lime flavored. It was like a strong lime flavor and like the citrus. It had like a whiteout kind of aftertaste.
I really liked it too. That's what I voted for in Democracy too. So I definitely willing to go above Typhoon for that. I don't know how much higher you're looking, but I'm willing to go above it.
I'm looking like putting it in A tier above Pitch Black.
I'm willing to do it. Yeah. Go above Pitch Black.
Let's go above Pitch Black. So the next one we have is Whiteout.
My opinion is mid out.
Yeah, it's like a vague citrus taste. I will say, I think I prefer the taste of it over regular Mountain Dew, but it's not unique.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing it's got for it, it has like a very smooth texture to it, which is nice, but I'm willing to put it...
If we were gonna put it in C tier, I'd almost want to put it below Passion Fruit Punch.
All right, let's do it.
Whiteout is the epitome of the stereotype that rare equals good.
Yeah, it's just very forgettable.
Yep. Like, I drank it when it was out, but like, do I miss it? No. Do I want it back? No.
The next flavor that we have is Diet Ultraviolet.
That is another one that I dumped out because I didn't like it.
Oh.
It was better than Diet Voltage, but it's also very not good.
I've actually heard good things about Diet Ultraviolet.
I'd be willing to go bottom of D tier instead of F tier for Diet Ultraviolet.
How about Dark Berry from the Batman thing?
Have you had that one?
I have not.
In my opinion, it's very similar to Darkberry Bash. I know you always say that you think that Darkberry Bash is like Pepsi Blue without the Pepsi, but to me, Darkberry Bash is like dark berry with like a little bit of extra berry flavor. It's very similar though. Like it's similar enough that when I had Darkberry Bash for the first time, like it gave me that nostalgia for Darkberry. But it is very respectable, very good. I'd go low A or high B probably.
Oh, you could probably put it there then. Have you had Johnson City Gold?
That was a weird one. Johnson City Gold had like a malt flavor to it. I remember describing it to some of my friends that like if you would have given it to someone that was drinking and told them that there was alcohol in it, they definitely would have believed you because it tasted like there was alcohol in it. It wasn't better than original, but I would almost say that it was better than Diet.
Yeah, the next one is the former Taco Bell exclusive Sangrita Blast.
I liked it when it was on the Taco Bell fountains. I feel like that was one of those flavors that paired very well with their food. In bottles and cans, I didn't care for it as much. Middle of C tier.
Middle of C tier. All right.
Also, it's worth mentioning, I totally forgot when we were talking about Distortion and Typhoon. Both of those, I know you didn't get a chance to try either because it was so long ago. Both Typhoon and Distortion had Taco Bell freezes. And I think the Distortion freeze just even more justifies its very high placement because the Distortion freeze was phenomenal. Probably my favorite freeze I've ever had at Taco Bell.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of lime freezes tend to be very good. Like basically every convenience store in Canada has a Crush lime freeze. And then the next flavor we have is Dew Shine.
A lot of people like Dew Shine. It kind of felt gimmicky to me, I'll be honest. I'd go high D. This episode could probably just be called Tebow makes everyone mad with all of his opinions.
If we get to Citrus Cherry, it's my turn to
Oh, yeah. Because I didn't like any of the Label series. Any of them.
I've heard a lot of people love Black Label. That's interesting.
I've heard people compare it to Pitch Black. Don't agree. I would be willing to go B tier for Black Label. Green and white, I definitely didn't like as much as black. Green, I'd probably go C tier. I'd probably put white above like Sangrita.
What about the spiked ones?
They're decent. Interesting. They have, what did they have, like cactus juice or something like that?
I think it was prickly pear juice.
Oh, that's right. Prickly pear juice. It tasted decent. Conceptually, I think it was stupid to call a drink spiked and have it not be alcoholic. So that...
Yeah, I wonder why it failed.
That knocks it down a little bit for me, I'll be honest. That was also on Taco Bell fountains, the lemonade one. And again, I think it was better on Taco Bell fountains. But I think I would go like maybe high C tier for lemonade and low C tier for the raspberry one. I know people have called the raspberry spiked better sparked, but I don't agree.
So then there's two different versions of Dew SA.
We don't necessarily need to rank both of them.
I have not had the original one.
Okay.
Thing with Dew SA was it originally released in 2017?
Yeah.
And then it got a re-release in 2021. Around that time was when they started experimenting with half-diet stuff, so the original version of Dew SA was one of the rare half-diet canned Mountain Dew flavors, and then they reformulated it into full sugar in 2021. I did really like Dew SA. There was an import store that used to sell bottles of Dew SA for $1, and Pepsi Blue as well, the American one.
I think it was good. I, out of principle, don't like it. I don't like that it's just a mix of existing flavors.
Interestingly enough, one of the ingredients in Dew SA is caramel coloring, which is not in any of the supposed ingredients that is listed.
Where would you want to put Dew SA?
I would put it in C tier, below Typhoon, above Caribbean.
My vote would be F, but we don't have to put it in F tier. I'm I'm okay with wherever you want to put it.
Right. So the next flavor that we have is another mix. It's Holiday Brew, which is Code Red and regular Mountain Dew mixed.
I like that one even less than 2SA.
This was actually the Dew that made me realize I like Code Red.
Interesting.
Before, I thought it tasted like cough syrup, but then after I tried Holiday Brew, yeah, I respected it so much more.
That's fair.
It's just like Code Red, but easier to drink.
I'm willing to overlook my ranking it F out of principle.
I'd put it above Whiteout.
I agree with that.
Now, this is a flavor that I did have back in the day, ice,
I think ice is very overhated.
but I don't think it's that good.
I don't think it's good, but I also don't think it's F tier.
How about below Doonshine then?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, honestly, ice isn't too bad. It's just like a generic lemon lime soda with caffeine and juice in it and less sugar.
But it's also nothing to write home about either.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the hype. I have not had the cherry version though.
A lot of people would put that in F tier, and I don't think it's that bad. I think it's D tier, but I don't think it's F tier. It is definitely substantially worse than ice itself, though.
Now, this is a very popular Christmas flavor that is no longer around. We got Merry Mashup.
That's a top 10 flavor for me. I really like it. I think it's a very good holiday flavor to it. Cranberry pomegranate. I think it works very well.
I think it does too. It does have a bit of a tartness to it, but I enjoy it a lot.
I would personally put it in S, but I'm willing to go down to A if you don't agree with me.
Above Pitch Black.
I'm okay with that.
Now, this is another flavor that we find very overrated. Liberty Chill.
It's grown on me a little bit this time that it's come back, but I still think it's massively overrated. I think the 50 flavors in one do. We talked about this before, so I won't go super far into it. I still think that's silly. I think the name is silly. I already thought the name was silly when it was Liberty Brew, but I think Liberty Chill is even a sillier name. All of that said, down to the actual flavor, it's okay. It just tastes like an amalgamation of fruity sweetness, and
I'm just looking at this now. I think I would put it below Baja Punch. And then now we're moving on to the Voodoos. Yeah, so the first one, 2019, was candy corn. Kind of tastes more like orange creamsicle than it does candy corn.
Yeah, I think it's probably just the best. It doesn't taste like candy corn, if I'm being honest. I thought it was okay.
There's so many places it could go at this point. Above Livewire. What about Voodoo 2020?
I like that one more than 2019 for sure. Very accurate to the flavor.
I would put that above Liberty Chill.
I'd put it above Revolution. Okay. People will be mad about that, but
all right, what about 2021?
Didn't like it.
I had one recently, and I thought it was better than what I remembered, but
it's not bad, but I'd put it below 2019, and I'd probably put it below
above Passion Fruit Punch.
Okay.
And then this one is my favorite Voodoo 2022, the sour candy flavor.
That one was really good.
Yeah, I would put it above Baja Deep Dive.
I'd probably lean more high B tier.
Voodoo 2023.
Conceptually, I liked 2023. It was cool that it was a tie-in, but the flavor wasn't that great, in my opinion.
I would put it just above 2021. Because I think it was better executed, but it wasn't really something that I would go out of my way to drink. And for the zero, I would honestly just put it right below it. It's very similar. It nailed the flavor, I think. I just didn't care for it. And the next one we have is Maui Burst.
Midi Burst. I don't like Maui Burst.
I like it more than Dew Store Typhoon.
I would agree that it's better than Dew Store Typhoon. Actually, but I don't think it's much better than Dew Store Typhoon. It's good. For me, it's just very forgettable.
I feel like Maui Burst, it has a good amount of flavor compared to the sweetness. Frostbite, I would call the opposite of that.
I don't like using the word boring to describe flavors, but Frostbite is boring.
It just tastes like sugar water.
I kind of want to rate it F tier.
You know, actually, I don't disagree. I feel like if you put any of these in front of me, I'd probably drink it. I don't think I'd drink Frostbite.
Honestly, I would say that zero sugar is probably the bottom of D tier because I would say it was better than Frostbite, which you can't say about very many flavors.
Next one, we have a very good flavor, I think. But let's hear from you. What are your thoughts on Spark?
I like it a lot. I haven't drank it a lot recently. My only thing with Spark is it's very easy for me to burn out on it. When it released permanently in the US, I drank it all the time. And then I got very tired of it, and I don't think I've ever drank it since then. It is a very good flavor, though. It's very overhated. I don't understand the hate behind it.
Like, especially when it's cold and it's a hot day. I don't think anything hits better than a nice cold Spark. I'd put it below Voodoo 2022.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I feel like Voodoo 2022 has a similar kind of level of the tartness. I just prefer this over Spark. I get a similar sort of experience having Voodoo. What are your thoughts on Spark Zero?
Gosh, it's been so long. I feel like I would personally put it right with Spark on the tier list.
I don't like Spark Zero. Just has a very similar aftertaste to Baja Zero. Because of that, I'm honestly leaning D tier, but we could meet in the middle with C.
Yeah. We could go D tier.
Seems like pink flavors have a hard time being popular. I like Major Melon, but it's not anything remarkable.
I would be willing to just go firmly C tier. It's good, but I also don't ever get it. I think it's kind of forgettable as well. I think Major Melon Zero is better than the original.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd go above Johnson City. I wouldn't go above Dew SA. As much as I don't like Dew SA, I'll admit that I would drink that over Major Melon Zero.
And then we have Cake Smash.
Cake trash.
I think it's just very overrated. It just tastes like cheap birthday cake ice cream flavoring and like a generic Mountain Dew base.
My hopes and expectations were so high for Cake Smash. Like, the artwork looks cool. In theory, it sounds like a really cool dessert flavor. And it's just, I think it tastes like birthday cake bash bang energy. And I hate birthday cake bash energy. I think it's better than Frostbite, but I really don't like it. Like, if both of those cans were in front of me, I would begrudgingly open the Cake Smash.
What if you had a can of Flamin' Hot 2021 and a can of Flamin' Hot 2022 in front of you? Which one would you grab?
I'd definitely be grabbing the Flamin' Hot 2021.
I actually think I like the 2022 release more, but
they're both really good.
They're both really good. I'd put them in A tier.
Unironically, when I did my tier list most recently, I put 2022 in S tier. There's just something to me about Flamin' Hot that, like, it's so uniquely different than everything else that they've ever done, and they pull it off so well. It's kind of an unconventional reasoning for S tier, but, like,
I'm trying to think of this in more of an objective point of view. I think I would put Dew Store Flamin' Hot at the top of A, then I would put 2022 Flamin' Hot below Distortion.
Shout out to Flamin' Hot.
Flamin' Hot is a really good flavor.
Bring it back.
You know what flavor doesn't deserve to be brought back?
What's that?
Rashed apple.
God.
We're making so many enemies today.
I just think I think it's another example of a flavor just being boring to me. I might even go below Whiteout. You talked me out of, I was going to say D tier. You talked me out of D tier, but I would go bottom of C tier.
Another dead store exclusive, Uproar from Food Lion.
That one's upsetting because that one was really good. Strawberry kiwi. And it was very kiwi forward, which was very surprising, but very good.
I got a very similar taste to Baja Punch, and I'm tempted to put it near Baja Punch, but
I'd be willing to put it above Laguna Lemonade, honestly.
And then here we have another beloved Christmas flavor. Personally, I would call it my favorite Christmas flavor, and I would put this above Merry Mashup, Gingerbread Snapped.
Pretty good flavor.
It's very overhated, but I really like gingerbread snapped.
I really liked it. I had so much of it stashed and so much of it is leaked. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, one of mine leaked, and like that's the only leak I've had in my whole collection.
I would be willing to put Snapped above Deep Dive.
Oh, I'm not sure if I would agree with that.
So you would put it above Code Red.
I would put it above Code Red.
Would you put it above Flash?
No. Compromise. Yay. The next one we have Purple Thunder.
I'd put it above Voltage, honestly. Really good
Actually,
flavor.
yeah, I would agree. I've been drinking Purple Thunder almost every day. I'm not tired of it.
It's definitely a flavor I just do not burn out on. Purple Thunder Zero might be my favorite flavor of Zero that I've ever had. Put it above Pitch Black Zero. Split Diet Supernova and Pitch Black Zero.
What about Overdrive?
It's okay. What other flavor were we talking about? Was it Baja Punch? That you said it's just kind of like okay. It's just not that good of a flavor. Like it's okay. I would say C or D tier. I don't think it's that great.
Bottom of C tier?
Yeah, I support that.
What about Fruitquake?
I liked Fruitquake.
I felt like it was just a worse version of Merry Mashup.
I'd be okay with putting it below Merry Mashup for sure.
Below Uproar?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
What about Summer Freeze?
It's good. I just finally tried a can of the Canadian Summer Freeze. And I do think that is a little bit better than American Summer Freeze. There's a lot of people that are mad that they didn't bring back Summer Freeze instead of the trio that we got this year, and I don't know why they want. I think all three are better than Summer Freeze.
It tastes a bit watered down. It's a lot like Frostbite in that way, how it just kind of tastes watered down, very sweet.
Where would you want to go with that?
I might put it. I'm thinking C or D.
I'd go D. Did you try Summer Freeze Zero?
I did. I didn't really notice much of a difference.
For me, I feel like I liked it a little bit better than original. Not massively, but like enough that I would be okay with like putting it a spot above original.
And then now we're moving on to Freedom Fusion and Star Spangled Splash. I know you have a lot of opinions on those. I still have not tried them yet.
Freedom Fusion is pretty good. I don't like peach flavors, and I still like it, even though it is unabashedly very peach forward, which is interesting, since it says lemonade and peach, you would think it would be lemonade forward. I'd be willing to go into A.
Would you say it's better than Spark?
Yes.
Star Spangled Splash, that is one that you really like.
For me, it's the best flavor that Mountain Dew's released in the last decade. And yes, that includes Purple Thunder.
I read a lot of comments. I read a lot of people discussing it, and Star Spangled Splash seems very mixed. Although at the same time, we have Flamin' Hot at the top of A.
Yeah, we do.
I'll put it right here then.
Okay.
Blue Shock.
I think it is not good. Flavor-wise, it's good, but like whatever they do kind of just tastes like it's flat to me, and that just takes away so much from it for me.
I like it, but it's very similar to a 7-Eleven store brand blue raspberry soda they had here in Canada. Like very, very similar, like basically the exact same, except it wasn't flat.
So like you'd rather just get that instead?
Yeah. I'd put it in C though. And what are your thoughts on Malaysian Pitch Black?
FYE is committing a crime by charging $15 for it. I think it's not good at all. I think it is an insult to Pitch Black.
Yeah, I've tried it. It just tastes like a grape soda to me.
Also, it has the same thing that Blue Shock does. Like it kind of has like the element of kind of tasting flat. So I put it in D tier.
All right. And speaking of worse versions of another thing, here we have Finnish Supernova, which is not even Supernova.
Yeah, also known as Euronova. I just said that Malaysian Pitch Black is an insult to Pitch Black. Euronova is an insult to Supernova. Out of principle, I would put it in F tier, but it's a decent tasting drink.
I probably put it in C tier. It's just like a worse version of Voltage to me.
I really like Passion Fruit Frenzy. Passion Fruit Frenzy is what I wish Passion Fruit Punch was. I'd be willing to put Passion Fruit Frenzy like mid B tier. Well, I have the new Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Blue. Obviously, we're not going to rank that. Darn is still waiting on his Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Blue. But whenever that comes in, we'll have opinions on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
I think we have differing opinions on Honeydew.
Yeah, we do.
I'm thinking of just putting it here.
I'm willing to go there.
Now we're on to the game fuels.
Now it's your turn to make people mad.
I don't like Citrus Cherry Game Fuel. I do not like Mountain Dew Citrus Cherry. I do not like Citrus Cherry Amp Game Fuel, Dr. Disrespect. I do not like Citrus Cherry flavored Mountain Dew.
You don't love Master Chief in the soda?
They need to get him out of there.
I like it. This might be where we differ the most in opinions, because I would literally rank it in S. Like, it's a top 3 flavor for me. We could always just split the difference and put it in dead center of C.
I'm willing to give more of the benefit of the doubt because I know I'm wrong.
Would you accept B tier?
I'd put it below Spark.
Okay, I'll accept that. I don't think we need to rank Citrus Cherry twice. To me, I know a lot of people were mad that like Half Diet it tasted the same to me. If we
I'll put
rate
it here.
yeah, okay,
Here.
yeah.
That was from Warcraft, right? Alliance Blue?
Same UPC as Mystic Punch. Obviously, we never got any confirmation if it was the same, but it tasted the same to me. I like it. That was one of the flavors that like got me into collecting Mountain Dew, but it was good. I would say like low B maybe.
And then the next one is Berry Lime.
I didn't like that one. I know a lot of people love it. I know people say that Berry Monsoon is basically Berry Lime. I don't like either one of them. If I'm being honest. I'd go right below Lemonade.
Right below Lemonade. Mystic Punch. Just put it next to it, I get next to the blue one. Oh wow. Yeah, we're going through the slog part of the tier list.
For a blanket opinion for all of the kickstarts and the energies, I think that Mountain Dew is just objectively bad at making energy drinks.
Yeah, so this video is getting a little long, so we're just gonna straight up skip the kickstarts, skip the game fuels, skip the energies. We're just going straight to the fountain.
Atomic Mid, bottom of D tier. Part of that for me is just that anytime I've had a fountain drink from Sheetz, it has been bad. And the flavor's not great. So I think Berry Monsoon's a D tier flavor. I'd be willing to go higher if you don't agree with me. Oh, wait, no, you never got to try it.
I never got to try it.
We could go, it's a higher D tier. Zero can go the bottom of D tier. It's definitely not as good.
Have you had Cyclone?
I did, and that's another one I really didn't like. I'd probably put that in D.
And then Dark Berry Bash. That one is one of my favorites.
I'd go A.
Goji Citrus Strawberry.
I really like Goji.
It's good. It's good for a half diet flavor, too.
I didn't realize it was half diet until I heard people complaining about it. Personally, I'd put it in S. I'd be okay with putting it in A. I'd be okay with putting it in B. All right, what else we got?
Legend.
I haven't had it in a setting that I can fairly judge it. The one time I had it, like all the ice had melted in it, so it was very watered down.
I've had it twice. Both times it did feel kind of watered down.
I know a lot of people like it.
So I'm not even sure if I'm confident ranking it.
That's fair.
Sorry, Legend fans. I know there's a lot of Legend fans out there. We also have Solar Flare.
That was pretty good. I'd probably put that in A. Or B. Very similar to like Typhoon. I'd be okay with putting it like a step below 2010 Typhoon. Yeah, I would say Port Break Punch was better, actually. So maybe a step below that.
Southern Shock.
Very similar to Solar Flare. I would probably just put it right below Solar Flare.
All right, next one is a very controversial one. Sweet Lightning.
I like it. I think Freedom Fusion's better. Freedom Fusion's much more natural, where Sweet Lightning kind of has a little bit more of an artificial peach flavor. I'd say probably C.
Vibe?
It was kind of basically just Spark without the raspberry. And Spark without the raspberry isn't very good. I would put it below the Lemonade Game Fuel. Well, all right. That's...
All right, yeah.
Everyone definitely let us know how angry we made you with our tier list. Let us know like what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Pretty short list of S tier flavors. So yeah, as always, thank you for hanging out. Darn, you got any closing words?
Yeah, I don't have much else to say.
All right, well, thank you as always for watching. If you're on YouTube, thank you for smashing that subscribe button, ringing the bell, smashing the like button, all those things. Thank you for following the podcast and for showing your support. We still don't really have a sign off.
Bye.